Welcome back. Now in this video we are going to cover the remaining part of the Thor character. Now let's navigate to our layer panel and rename layer 2 panel as head layer and rename a layer called body layer. Now we go back to our head layer and we can select to delete this part, or you can move up a little bit so that you could have a reference later on. Now I'm going to lock on the head layer and select the body layer. Now let's concentrate on drawing the body part. Press the pen tool and then start drawing from here. Oops, you might notice that the fill area is open, so I might need to close the fill area and open the stroke layer. And the stroke layer, probably I change it to blue color, and let's start drawing. Now until the end point of here, you're also using the same technique, escape from there and click V. Now the next thing I'm going to draw is the part from here. So click on P and start drawing from here. Okay, so I'm going to draw on the hand section here as well. It's okay that some of the part you are not connected. Later on we will do the refinement, no worries. So let's draw on some of the detailed part on the hand. Okay, now let's move on to the body part here. So let's draw a vertical line here first. Alright, the next step we are going to draw is we will ignore the circle part. Later on we will just use the circle tool to draw on the part here. So we refine the part here first. Now let's move on to the second part of the body part here. Okay, we have completed the inner part of the body. Now we move on to the leg part. Next, we are going to connect the dot and do some refinements on the curve line. So we click Ctrl Y to see the grid line here. Now I will click A to select the point here and double click the point to connect the dots. Make sure your dot is intersect with another. Now for this scenario, right, because I can't find the point where I can connect the dots, so no worry. In this point I will highlight it and then click Shift M and then click Alt to delete this part. Now let me move on to connect the dot to the grid line here. I will start completing the hand part first. Later on we move on to the body part. Okay, I will highlight it and then click Shift M, hold Alt to delete the excessive part. Okay, the next step we are going to move on to the body part here. So let me have a look. Okay. So probably I will move this one into the middle part a little bit. Okay, what I'm trying to do is that I will try to make sure the line here is aligned with the circle here, so that later on we put on the circle here, it's aligned perfectly. Okay, so we move on to the second part on here. Okay, I noticed that the line here is a little bit down, so probably after I connect the dot, I will move up a little bit. Okay, so I think this should be alright. Now let me refine the part here. Okay, I have left the final part, which is this part, to refine. Okay, now we have done the body part here. Let's move on to the leg part to refine it. So Ctrl Y to enter the grid line mode. Okay, let me come back. Alright, the overall picture seems okay, but only the leg part seems a little bit weird. The curve line is not that curved. So what I will do is, I will enter the grid line mode and will highlight it and select my smooth tool. Okay, so I'll probably enter the grid line mode again and move it down a bit. Okay, so I will highlight it and I'll smooth it again. Now we have connected all the dots. Now let's do the final tweak to remove all the excessive part on the object. So I will highlight all of it and I will enter the grid line mode and I press Alt, Shift M and then Alt to delete the excessive part. So let me quickly just delete the thing. Okay, now let's go back and do a final checkup before we proceed to the next part. Alright, now seems that all the dots are being connected. Now let's go on to the circle part here. So we go to the rectangular tool here and select the eclipse tool, and we'll start drawing a circle there. Once you draw a circle, right, you press and then you hold shift so that it becomes a perfect circle. If it doesn't hold shift, it becomes a random circle like this one. So remember that when you drag, you hold shift so that it's become a perfect circle. Okay, let's start drawing the circle. Zoom inside and then click at the point and then draw the circle by holding shift. Click V to drag the middle part to the location, and then click on the edges and then hold shift and Alt to enlarge, and then we move the location to our location. Now in this case, right, we doesn't worry about the circle doesn't match the drawing here. Later on we will try to enlarge the circle to match the grid line here, so no worry. So we'll bring on to the second part and the third part. Let me draw it real quick. Okay, now the next session we are going to increase our stroke line. So we go to our right hand side, the stroke panel here. If you doesn't see the stroke panel on here, you can always go to Window and scroll down to find the stroke panel and click on it. Now after that, we'll highlight on the place, and then we'll try to increase the stroke line to approximately to the template size. So I will do this real quickly. Now we have done our artwork here, right? The next step we are going to do is outline the artwork. So we will highlight all of it and then go to Object, Path, and Outline Stroke to outline the object. So now we navigate to our overview and highlight this one, duplicate another copy to our whiteboard here, and we'll try to look on it. Okay, the next step will probably is duplicate it, highlight it, and then click Alt to duplicate, and right click and transform reflect, then click OK. Then we move in so that it match our center point. Alright, now the next step we are going to do is do some final adjustment on the line here. So what I will do is I'll click on this part and then I'll go into the grid mode, double click on this one by pressing A and drag it to the middle point here, so that we can see that the line is actually aligned. So I will do the rest in a real quick mode. Now we have completed our object. The next step we are going to do is highlight our object here, and then we'll go to Pathfinder. We will unite all of the object here by clicking this unite button. After you click the unite button, right, the next step I'm going to do is I will make it become a black color. So I will click this black color and you'll see that the shapes is beautiful and it becomes black color in shapes. Now the next step we are going to draw is the Thor hammer. So we'll go back to our layer and probably we'll lock our body part and create another layer called hammer layer. Now we'll navigate to our pen tool by pressing P and then we'll draw the hammer real quick. Now we have quickly draw our hammer here. Now we need to connect the dot by clicking Ctrl Y to enter to the grid mode, and then we'll click A to quickly readjust the dot. Now we have completed our hammer part. Now we need to increase the stroke by highlight this part and then we go to our stroke panel and increase it. Now after we have completed our part, right, I will highlight it and then I will go to Object, Path and outline the stroke. Alright, the next step we are going to bring some color inside. So I will navigate to the empty slot here and then I will bring it to the black color. Okay, let's do some final adjustment on here. Okay, our hammer part is done. Now here comes the final part. We are going to color the Thor character in the final step. So what I will do is now is I will go to the layer panel and I will lock all of the layer except the head layer. I will let it open. Now go back to here. What I want you to do is click on the hair layer here and remove it from the artboard. Now click M to draw a rectangle. Now we deal with the color. Remember the stroke area to close it, and then probably the color I will select a lighter color. Now the next step is I will want you to right click, go to Arrange, Send to Back and highlight all of the object in the layer and then click Shift M to and then hold Alt to delete this part. Now the next time is the fun part. What I want you to make sure is that you click Ctrl Y and double click this point to the beard area here. Alright, after you have done this, right, now highlight all of the object, make sure it's all of the object, and then click the divide button here. Now after you divide already, right, you can color it real quick. So let me do the things real fast. Alright, now you have colored the Thor character area here. Now let's go back to the hair layer. Now highlight this one, and then what I want you to do is open the fill panel. You will see that instantly the color is being bring to the front. Now bring back to the hair layer here. Alright, okay, probably now you click on this one, you probably want to increase the stroke of the hair layer. So I will go to stroke, probably I'll increase to 1.5. Alright, nice. Now the next session we are going to go for the body layer. Now head back to the body layer, lock the head layer and open the body layer. Now I'll probably delete this one or I bring it down. Alright, so highlight this part. Click M to select a big rectangle here. The same process, we'll probably adjust it to a lower color and send it back. Now highlight all of the object here, click Shift M and then Alt to delete the part. Now highlight it again to make sure you highlight all of it and go to Pathfinder and click Divide, and let's start coloring. So let me do it very fast. Alright, now since then we have completed overall of the body part, we only left the final part of this section. So what I will do is I will go to here and then click on this line segment tool. I will go to rectangular grid tool, click on it, and I will go to empty spot, click on any point, and then you write down is 100 pixel times 100 pixel height, and the number is 5.5. Then you click OK. After that, click V and then navigate to here, open the stroke panel here, and I will rotate it 45 degrees by holding Shift and scale it down. Okay, now the part is we need to highlight this one and then click Ctrl G so that we group it together. Now we select this part and then we will drag it to the middle part here, right? And then we will move to front, bring to front, and we'll highlight it, right click, make clipper mask. Now we will duplicate this one as well, and then we'll reflect it, transform and reflect. Alright, now we can delete this part and we'll move the things back to our artboard here. Alright, nice. Now we'll highlight all of object here and then we'll bring it to the blank space here. Now we click Ctrl G to group it together. Now we have a nice body. Now the next part we will cover on coloring the hammer part. Now we lock our body and open our hammer here. Let's repeat the process by clicking M, highlight it, and then open your fill panel here and then select one of the color. Probably I will select this color, and then we'll send it to back. Right click, arrange, bring send to back, highlight to all of the object here, and then click Shift M, click Alt, and then click on the blank space here. You will see that it's automatically select this one. Now we go to the Pathfinder, we click divide, and you'll see all of the objects been divided. Now we highlight this one, we bring it to here. Now we will start coloring it. Using the same technique as well, select the part, click I to select the color. Alright, you might notice that there is a column here which you doesn't see the black stroke, right? So no worry. What we will do is I will click on this part, right, and then I will duplicate it, and then I will click V. I will click Shift and Alt so that I can enlarge a little bit. Let's see. Alright, now I will bring this one to black color. So I will bring it a little bit larger. Now I'll send this one to back, transform and arrange and then send to back. Alright, it's look very similar, or we can enlarge this a little bit. Okay, there you have it. You have a hammer which is similar to Thor one. Now highlight it and then click Ctrl G to group it together. Now bring back to our artboard. Now in the final section, we will try to group all the elements together. So let me open all the section here, and then I will start holding and bring this one to up here. Okay, seems okay. Now bring our hammer here back to here. Alright, now you have created your Thor character successfully. Thanks for watching. Do like, subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss more video helping you learn more regarding the vector design. So I will see you in the next video. Take care.